We've teamed up with the guys at My Generator and obviously Enerdrive, and we're giving away this amazing 12-volt battery setup. It comes with everything you need other than the solar panels, the wiring and the installation. It's got all the components. I'll run you through them. Obviously the big main part is the 200 amp hour lithium battery that you get. You get the 2000 watt inverter, you get the multi-bank 240 volt charger, you get the DC to DC and MPPT solar charger, and you get a battery monitor. So I bet what you all really want to see is how we've got it installed in the car. So come and jump in, follow me, and we'll go and have a look and see how it's all set up. Okay, so I've jumped in the back of the car here just to give you a look at how we've got it all installed in the car. So if we wind the seat down and lift it up, you can see there's all the units. So what we've got here is we've got our 2000 watt inverter. This is all wired up and runs back to the batteries through these really big thick gauge cables here. You can see because we run really high amperage through those cables, we need quite thick cables. The battery is under a panel. We can't actually get access to that without pulling half the car apart. So with the inverter here, we've got really easy access to the power points from the side of the car, and this power cable here also runs back to the rear of the car and gives us a 240 volt double power point at the back of the car, so we've got easy 240 volt access at the rear of the car as well. And for this installation, we just turn it on and off using the power button on the inverter because it's really accessible, our inverter here in the car. In the caravan though, we've actually used the remote power switch for the inverter just to make it easier to turn it on and off because we don't have access to the inverter in the caravan. So here we've got our DC to DC charger. So this takes a charge from both the alternator and the 240 watts of solar panels we've got on the top of the Defender. We can cycle through and just see what the status is coming in from each of those power sources and what voltage our battery's sitting at and what percentage charge it's got. So that gives you a great look at how we've got it all installed in the car. We've got the DC to DC charger, which we use taking the alternator charge and the solar panels to charge up that 200 amp hour battery. And we've got the 2000 watt inverter that we use to run all our appliances and charge our laptop, our drone, and all the rest of the things that we want to be able to do. So obviously it all revolves around the big 200 amp hour lithium battery. The lithium batteries are great, you know, you can, they're lighter, which is a key thing in your car and your caravan. You don't want to be carrying too much weight. You can, even though they're more expensive, you can actually discharge and recharge them a lot more times. So the lifetime on them is actually a lot longer. So based on how much you use it, how much extra life you get out of it, it's actually about the same sort of price. The other great thing about the lithium batteries is you can drain them down a lot further. So you start really damaging your old deep cycle batteries if you take them under 50%, whereas the lithium batteries, you can drain them down pretty much to zero, and you're not actually doing any more damage to your battery. So they're really designed to be able to do that. You can also pump in heaps of amp hours of charge and heaps of amp hours of discharge out of them as well. So they're great for high load activities. So you've got your big 200 amp hour lithium battery. You obviously want to be able to charge that bad boy somehow. So you've got the two options as part of this kit. You've got the multi-stage battery charger. So that's your DC to DC. So it'll take your alternator current in from your car and charge your battery. It'll also do solar charging, MPPT solar regulator. So that'll take a solar charge as well, both those feeds, and it'll put a max of 40 amps into your battery. So 200 amp hour battery, it'll charge that up quite quickly. In the car, we've used 240 watts of solar panels on the car, but we've also got the alternator charging the battery in the car, so it's always kept topped up. Whereas in the caravan, we don't have the DC to DC charger, we're just using the MMPT, so we've got 600 watts of solar panel on the caravan. The other part is there's the multi-bank charger. So this is your 240 volt charge option. So if you're in a caravan park or you're just parked up at home wanting to keep your batteries topped up, or you're just camping somewhere where you've got 240 volt access, you can plug into the 240 volt and that'll also put 40 amps of charge back into your batteries to get them topped up real quick. No point having a big battery system unless you can use that charge. So there's a big 2000 watt inverter as part of the whole bundle. Once you start playing up in this sort of wattage inverter, it's amazing what you can run. So this will give you an indication of just some of the type of things that you can run on the 2000 watt inverter. There's heaps of options with it. So we actually run now a air fryer in the caravan for our oven. You know, you can actually run an air fryer, no worries at all, off that 2000 watt inverter. So this is the air fryer that we run. That's our little mini oven for when we want to cook stuff. Obviously the big one is the induction cooktop. We just use these little portable induction cooktops now for doing all of our cooking. No longer have any other sort of cooking. We just do it all on that. They heat up so quick. They're really great to cook with. You can boil water in no time flat. You can put on a fry pan and fry sausages or do whatever you want. We actually still use our little coffee pot to make our coffees in the van, which we find works really well, but you can actually run a coffee, you know, a full-blown coffee system off that 2000 watt inverter if you wanted to. We have our little milk frother that we use to froth our milk. One of Jamie's favourite things that she discovered is she can actually have her nice little Smeg kettle in the caravan, so you can run a normal kettle. A lot of the kettles are actually over 2000 watts, so you do have to be careful about what kettle you pick, but this little Smeg one is actually under 2000 watts, which is great. We actually use a little portable kettle for the car, so we can still boil water while we're on the road. But yeah, that gives you an idea. You can actually run quite a lot of different stuff, you know. It's really opens up all sorts of other things to be able to use, and just an extra convenience, you know. You don't have to worry about you know, always trying to cook with gas or lugging gas around, or trying to have especially those little canister cooktops, you know. They can be really, you know, painful and messy and fiddly. So yeah, it just makes it a lot easier to travel and be comfortable. So yeah, we're loving having all this extra power. So you've got all the kit parts of the kit now. You've got the charger, you've got your big battery, you've got the charging options, you've got the discharge option, you know, to be able to actually use all that power. You obviously want to be able to monitor it as well, so you've got the battery monitor. So that plugs into, sits in between your load and the battery. It's a little shunt, and that measures the load on the battery, how much life it's got left in it. It'll give you a real easy percentage readout, tell you how much amps you're drawing or putting back into the battery, and what voltage the battery's sitting at. Give you heaps of information just on a quick glance of a screen. The great thing about the 200 amp hour lithium battery is actually Bluetooth enabled as well. So there's a great app that you can have on your phone, and you can see all sorts of information about the battery, its state of charge, how much battery life it's got, what loads on it, how many amps are being drawn out or charged back into it, and things like that. So it's really handy to be able to see all that information straight off your phone. But for those times where you just want to have a quick easy readout and just see what percentage battery life you've got left, which is a lot of the time you just want to do that, it's really handy to have the battery monitor as well.
It's amazing having this sort of power, this sort of ability to run anything that we want off-grid, anywhere that we like, whilever we're out and about. It's really changed the way that we travel.
So that's the whole kit. Like I said, $5,300 worth or a little bit over. The guys at My Generator and us are giving this all away to one lucky winner, so make sure you jump online and get your entry in, because you really don't want to miss this one. It is the biggest and the best giveaway we've done so far. Really excited to get this out to someone.